There should have been a steam train at Carlisle today, one of the regular Dalesman services, but it's been cancelled. The weather forecast is good, so I'm off to Ravenglass for some steam and some exercise. I didn't make it for my booked train, the 10:25, but managed to get a seat on the 10:50, arriving at Dalegarth at 11:30. Perhaps a little late for my planned walk, given that I was booked to return on the 16:10. For those not familiar with Ratty, the Ravenglass and Eskdale Railway, the 3-foot gauge line was opened in 1875 to carry iron ore mined in the hills above Boot down to Ravenglass for onward transport by the Furness Railway. Just 1 year later, it began to carry passengers as well as iron ore, and was England's first narrow-gauge public railway. The line closed in 1913, but partly reopened in 1916, rebuilt to the narrower 15-inch gauge, and by 1917 was open all the way from Ravenglass to Dalegarth. A couple of weeks ago I filmed a gentle walk from Ratty, which even your grandma could have enjoyed. Today we begin our more strenuous journey by following the narrow road up Eskdale as far as the crossroads at the Brook House Inn. Curiously, although we're at the very height of the summer holiday season in this very popular corner of the Lake District, the Brook House is only open to the public on 5 days each week. Opposite us, a very short road leads down towards the River Esk and the lovely little church of St. Catherine sitting beside the river. But we're heading up into the fells today, so you can see why Grandma isn't invited. There is part of the trackbed of the original 3-foot gauge railway. Behind the Brook House Inn, a short dead-end road brings us to the hamlet of Boot. Centrepiece of the community is the Boot Inn. It was the Burnmoor Inn when I first drank there in the 1970s. The other popular attraction for visitors to Boot is the centuries-old watermill, powered by the fast-flowing Willen Beck. I have featured this in an earlier video. The surroundings of Boot Village are sheer magic. Well, at least in good weather. Here is a glimpse of the route we will be taking today. So make sure you've got your boots, your walking poles, ordnance survey map, and some water. It's a very warm day. And let's get underway. We'll be heading for Blee Tarn, right up at the top, and then on to rejoin the railway at my favourite station, the Green. In my rucksack, I'm carrying, amongst a lot of other stuff, a heavy-duty tripod. A dead weight which never came out of the bag, as it takes several minutes to assemble and then to disassemble it, and I daren't carry it openly as I scramble over rough, often muddy ground. That's how my last tripod got bent. It's a steady climb, but fortunately not too muddy, despite last night's torrential rain. The Ordnance Survey map shows old pit shafts and mine workings all over these fell sides. This must have been a major industrial area in its day. And here my route passes beside an old shaft. In summer it's overgrown and one can't see down it. In past years, in winter, I have been able to see more. Now we reach the highest point on the route, at about 900 feet, and I use the cairn as a seat to take a well-earned rest. There are other Blee tarns in the Lake District, some better known than this one. It covers an area of 8 acres, and has a maximum depth of 36 feet. To my surprise, it was proving a popular swimming spot. Most of the lakes in the national park are seriously cold, but a couple of the swimmers with whom I talked assured me that this one was really quite pleasant. I didn't try it for myself. A fine view down Eskdale and out to the Irish Sea. Although it's a pleasant day, as I have said before, it isn't a clear day if you can't see the Isle of Man, and today the island wasn't visible even from the coastal railway. Even the giant nuclear establishment at Sellafield is barely seen through the haze. From the air we can see the route we have followed. From this height it really doesn't seem very far. On a hot day with a heavy rucksack, it seems a great deal farther. So, pack up the equipment and back on foot. The path along the tarn had one or two awkward moments. By now the clock was ticking along steadily, and I wasn't too sure that I'd make it to the green in time for my train, so opted for the shorter route that would bring me down to Beckfoot Station, forgetting just what a diabolical route this is. Steep, twisting, and punishing on the knees and hips. But it got me down to Beckfoot, where I encountered an enthusiast from the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway, eager to capture some memories of Ratty, before I set off to walk back up the old original track bed to get back to my starting point of Dalegarth. A pleasant run down to Ravenglass in an open compartment, a visit to the Ratty Arms, who, though seriously short-staffed, managed to conjure me up a meal, and then a long wait for a northern train to Carlisle which simply didn't turn up, despite the electronic notice board claiming that it was on time. Fortunately, ScotRail, despite cutting back on services, are still operating their late Carlisle to Dumfries train. It was early the following morning before I got home. I hope you have a smoother day if you try the walk. Remember to leave Grandma at home. Thanks for watching, and here's to the next time.